Imagine a peaceful ranch bathed in golden sunlight, where animals roam free and life feels serene. But one reckless act of cruelty shattered that calm. What followed was a story of redemption, justice, and transformation. What happened next will leave you questioning how far we're willing to go to make things right. If this story resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's spread the message of compassion and respect for all living beings. It was late afternoon when the quiet of Willow Creek Ranch was interrupted by the deafening roar of a motorcycle. The rider, a man named Drake clad in black leather and dark sunglasses, tore through the gates without permission. His arrival felt wrong, out of place like a storm cloud rolling into a sunny day. He parked near the fence, his smirk growing as he spotted a magnificent black stallion grazing nearby. The horse, named Shadow, was the heart and soul of the ranch rescued years ago by its owner, Ethan, from the harsh desert where he'd been abandoned and starving. Ethan, a former rodeo champion turned rancher, stood leaning against a fence, watching Shadow graze peacefully. For a moment, everything seemed perfect. Then came the sound of a sharp kick, delivered cruelly to Shadow's side. The impact echoed across the field, startling the other horses, who scattered in fear. Shadow stumbled back, pain flashing in his deep, intelligent eyes. Drake laughed a cold, hollow sound before climbing back onto his bike and speeding off, oblivious to the fact that Ethan had witnessed it all. Ethan clenched his fist, anger simmering beneath his calm exterior. He knew he couldn't let this slide, not just for Shadow, but for every animal mistreated because someone thought they were just an animal. With purposeful steps, Ethan headed to the barn, grabbed his phone, and called his trusted ranch hand, Liam. Within minutes, Liam arrived, his dusty truck pulling up beside the barn. Ethan explained what had happened, and Liam's jaw tightened. What kind of person was that to a horse? He muttered. Together, they carefully loaded Shadow into the trailer, ensuring he was comfortable. Ethan had noticed a small sticker on the back of Drake's motorcycle, a clue that helped them identify him as a drifter, known for causing trouble around town. Armed with this information, Ethan devised a plan, not one fueled by revenge, but by justice. They drove to a local biker bar where Drake often hung out. Ethan walked in alone, his presence commanding attention. The room fell silent as he approached Drake, who leaned back in his chair, smirking. Looks like the rancher wants to have a word, Drake drawled mockingly. You hurt my horse, Ethan said, his voice steady but edged with steel. Drake shrugged, clearly unimpressed. It's just a horse. What's the big deal? Ethan took a step closer, locking eyes with him. It's not just a horse. It's a living being. What you did was cruel and unnecessary. You don't walk away from something like that, Drake scoffed, trying to mask his unease. What are you going to do about it, old man? Ethan's lips curved into a determined smile. You'll find out. And with that, he turned and walked out of the bar, leaving Drake laughing, though uncertainty flickered in his eyes. Back at the ranch, Ethan shared Shadow's story with the world. A local reporter filmed a segment about the stallion's rescue and recovery, highlighting Drake's cruel act. The video went viral, sparking outrage and drawing support from people everywhere. The pressure mounted, and soon the sheriff contacted Ethan. We had a chat, the sheriff said. He's starting to get it. Ethan invited Drake to the ranch, where Shadow grazed peacefully under the midday sun. As Drake stepped out of the sheriff's truck, his usual arrogance was replaced by unease. Ethan gestured toward Shadow. This is Shadow, Ethan said. When I found him, he was starving, abandoned, left to die. I gave him a second chance, and he became the heart of this ranch. And you thought it was okay to hurt him. Drake glanced at Shadow, noticing for the first time the quiet strength in the horse's posture. Shadow's large, intelligent eyes seemed to pierce through him, stirring unfamiliar emotions, shame, guilt, and regret. Ethan led Drake into the barn, showing him photos of Shadow's rescue and recovery. This is what kindness and effort can do, Ethan said, pointing to a photo of Shadow in full health. Drake shifted uncomfortably, the weight of his actions pressing down on him. I didn't know, he mumbled. Ethan replied, but you can fix it if you're willing to take responsibility. He offered Drake a choice: work at the ranch and learn to care for the horses, or face a judge. Reluctantly, Drake agreed to stay. Over the weeks, Drake worked tirelessly at the ranch, cleaning stalls, repairing fences, and feeding the horses. He learned the value of hard work and patience. Slowly, he began to see the animals not as mere creatures, but as individuals with personalities, intelligence, and trust. One day, Ethan asked him to brush Shadow, nervous but determined. Drake approached the stallion cautiously. To his surprise, Shadow didn't flinch or shy away. Instead, he stood still, allowing Drake to care for him. In that moment, something shifted within Drake, a glimmer of acceptance, perhaps even forgiveness. As days turned into weeks, Drake transformed. He wasn't the same arrogant man who had kicked Shadow. On his last day at the ranch, Ethan gathered everyone for a small celebration. Shadow is a symbol of what this ranch stands for: second chances. Not just for horses, but for people too, Ethan said, glancing at Drake. Tears welled in Drake's eyes as the ranch hands clapped and cheered. For the first time in years, he felt genuine pride. Before leaving, Drake approached Shadow one last time. The stallion nuzzled his shoulder, a gesture of acceptance. "Thanks, buddy," Drake whispered, his voice thick with emotion. As he drove away, the weight of his past actions lingered, but so did a newfound sense of purpose. He wasn't just leaving Willow Creek Ranch, he was leaving behind the man he used to be. Change is possible when we take responsibility for our actions. Every living being deserves respect, and second chances can lead to incredible transformations. If this story moves you, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Let's inspire others to treat all life with kindness and respect.